you want other people to fill out your Excel worksheet and make some changes, then it's going to be easier and more efficient for them to enter the data using a drop-down list. So to do this, we're going to use a tool called data validation. So if I share this whole table to a group of people and each person can fill their own food group, then there's a problem with that because each person could type in a value differently. So one person can say, for this case, milk, they can say that a food group is dairy in all lower cases, but another person could say it's dairy with all upper cases. And so this is going to make the data messy because each person is typing in this value in different ways. So to fix this, we can add a drop-down list to this column. So the user is going to be restricted to certain values that I specify. And if the value that the user puts in, it's not included in the list that I specify, then Excel is going to tell them to try again. So first I'm going to get rid of the word over here, and then I'm going to go to the data ribbon, and then I'm going to highlight all of the values that I want to apply the drop-down list on. So I'm going to use a tool called data validation, so I'm going to click on that, and then this is going to give me a new window. And so in this allow box, the drop-down arrow, click on that, and then click on list. And so here inside this source section, you can manually enter in values that you want the user to be restricted on. So in this case, the column is on food groups. So I'm going to put in 5 of the main food groups. So that's going to be fruits, vegetables, then protein, dairy, and grains. You have to make sure that each value that you manually enter in is separated by a comma. And so if I click on OK, then if I select the cells, it's going to show me a drop down arrow. And so when I click on that, it's going to show me all the values that I put in before. So now all I have to do is select the value, and that's automatically going to fill up the cell. So it makes entering data a lot more efficient. A cool thing about this data validation thing is if you type in something completely different, then it's going to say that it doesn't match the restrictions, and so it's not going to let you type it in. So you have to retry it, and you have to make sure that the values inside the list, if it works, then you're gonna get no error. Another cool thing is that it's case sensitive. So if I type in fruits with a lowercase f, then it's gonna say that it doesn't match the restrictions, because when I typed it in before in the list, I said that it had a capital F in it. So if I retry that, but then this time I type in fruits with a capital F, then I get no error. So you got to make sure to have it exactly as the value that you typed in before. And so that's good because the data is going to be a lot cleaner if the data validation is case sensitive. So that's pretty much all there is to creating a list. For the rest of the video, I'm going to show you how to create a more advanced list. I'm going to make the list more dynamic now. So instead of manually entering the values for the list, I'm going to put those values inside another table. So here's what's going to look like. Over here I have a table of the food groups that I'm going to enter into the list. So I'm going to go into the main sheet. I'm going to highlight the values I want to apply the drop-down list on. Go to data validation. Click on list over here. And then the only difference now is the source. So I'm going to say, instead of manually entering in the values like fruits, vegetables, instead of doing that, I'm going to link this source to the 5 values in the other sheet. So this is going to do cell reference. So I'm going to go to the other sheet, and I'm just going to highlight these 5 food groups. And if I click on OK, then it's going to show you the drop down arrow. And if you click on that, then these values are the ones that are inside this table over here. That's because the data validation is linked to this table. So the cool thing is that if you change one of the values in this table over here to whatever you want, and if you go back to the other table, or the main table, then if you go to the drop-down arrow and you look at the values, you can see that this one, protein, changed to, updated to a different value because I changed the value over here. And so that's cool because if you put in your values like this as a table instead of manually entering in your values, then it's going to be more dynamic. So I'm going to change it back to protein. And so if I go back to the list, then it automatically changed back to what it's supposed to be. Alright, hopefully you learned something new from this video, and if you found it helpful, make sure to hit the subscribe button over here. And if you want to check out another Excel video where I create some simple bar charts, then check out the video over here. So I hope to see you there, and thanks for watching.